You are now tuned to the Broken Pencil Booking Company, a pro wrestling podcast infused with hip hop, made daily with organic broken pencil logic.
Can't call it same shit, different all that. When will the struggle Square one, we're back again. I'm about to lose control. What up? Please ease my soul, or I'm gonna get me a gun. They're burning crucifixes on my lawn again. They wanna hang a nigga like an ornament. It's tormenting. Morning over yesterday, still yawning inside of a tournament. I can't win. Good morning, shotgun blast passed by my head. I'm a man, I tell you. I'm a man, I say. Pushed my daughter and my wife in the closet and slid my son up under the bed. Filled the Smith & Wesson with lead. Looked in the mirror, said, breathe. Now come on, breathe. I'm about to bring 6 Klansmen to their knees. A cold story that my old man told me. If you're wondering why I have so much pent up hostility inside of my soul and the memory still molds me, just take a glimpse into the mind of an OG. Underneath the oak tree in the shade where I hang at. That's the same spot my great grand used to hang at. Peace, God, I can't call it same shit, different all that. When will the struggle Square one, we're back again. I'm about to lose control. Please ease my soul, or I'm gonna get me a gun.
What up, P? Same shit, different toilet. Can't call it long line of alcoholics in the fam. My man gave me work, and I sat up on the strip and got knocked. A long line of homies in the can. Jail is the ship that don't sail, that hold the slaves. And the judge have you asking for bail like it's the wave. Like that's the wave. Meaning the slave even pays to be caged in, which is motherfucking insane. That's insane. It's like we picking cotton again. 45's a Klansman, shit is rotten again. They gave us AIDS, gave us crack, now they plotting again. That boy ran, so they shot him, then they shot him again. That's sad. The same shit, make the tissue new. Make it 400 years, let's make the issues new. Why you love a dead black visual? I'm about to grab my gun, shit is critical. The devils is evil and all miserable.
Peace, God, I can't call it same shit, different all that. When will the struggle Square one, we're back again. I'm about to lose control. What up? Please ease my soul, or I'm gonna get me a gun.
What's happening?
What it is, Steve? What's happening, man?
Yeah, ain't nothing. I can curse?
Yeah, oh yeah. You balls to the wall here, fam.
Fuck it right.
Well, Swall, I guess now is a great time to go ahead and kick this damn thing off.
Well, I mean, you know, good times.
Welcome to the Broken Pencil Booking Company Pro Wrestling Podcast infused with hip hop. I'm Wood.
Made daily.
Wait, hold on. Shit, I'm not. Here I am, not ready again.
You're just unprepared.
One more.
You sitting in the dark, man. What you doing over there?
Oh no, I got my window open.
Okay.
Yeah, hold on. Let me fix all that. See, they getting a real live show today.
Like I don't know what kind of podcast I'm coming on. Y'all sitting in the dark.
Not if we come to we trying to have you plug your fight, man. Hold on. Let me. he needs to understand what we do here.
Yes,
hold
sir,
on, man.
Bandwidth, what are you doing?
That's what's not happening. Oh shit. There we go. Now is that better for you, bro?
That's better. Like I said, didn't know if you was doing the OnlyFans or what. You know.
Yikes! Like, I hope it hasn't come to that.
God damn it!
Man, let's pray it never comes to that. Good.
Hey.
Let's start this bitch over there. and all this is going on there too. Welcome to the Broken Pencil Booking Company Pro Wrestling Podcast infused with hip hop. I am Wood.
Made daily.
Won't catch me wrong this time.
with organic, farm to table, sterilized, neuralized, available online, shipped direct to doorstep.
Rib for her pleasure.
Yes, absolutely. Rib for her pleasure. Not available on Sundays. Broken pencil logic. You stay classy, internet. I'm Suave Burgundy.
We were expecting this to happen a little bit later in the podcast, but joining us right now, not Stone Cold, but Dallas' own Steve Austin. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Austin, welcome to the Broken Pencil Booking Company, sir. Your first time on the show. You are one of our very short list of interviews. This is episode 72. Is that right, Suave?
Yes, 72.
Yeah, so we appreciate you hopping on here. What's going on, Steve?
Not much. Damn, I'm 72. I should have done it the one before that. That would have been the best one. Well, damn, I'm dating myself. Never mind. I'm good. I'm good, man. How y'all doing?
Man, we over here living life and loving it, trying to hold in the road 10 and 2, make sure the popos ain't behind us.
Oh, yeah, we don't want that. We don't want that, sir.
So I caught wind earlier this week, courtesy of our not so favorite social media outlets, that you have a fight coming up. First of all, I'm familiar with your music. I had no idea you were in the fight game, man. How long you been fighting?
I've been in Jiu-Jitsu since 2001.
Right on.
So, I mean, yeah. So about that long. I did some MMA when I started, but I've been doing, as far as Jiu-Jitsu professionally, I've been doing that for a while because I've been a black belt for now 13 years.
Damn.
So that said, yeah, it's been a minute.
Right. So what's your professional record right now?
You know what? I don't know. I can tell you, and I say it's a bad thing because I had a guy. I used to do a blog, and I remember I was trying to get sponsors, and I remember the guy was like, "How many matches have you won?" And I was like, "Eh." And at that point in time, I hadn't lost very many at all. And I was like, I don't know, fuck, I don't know, And he's like, well, nah, you need to kind of keep track of that. And then I did for a while. Then I didn't after, I kind of lost track of it for a minute. I will say, I have been a brown belt world champion overall. And what I mean by overall, like in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, there's such a thing as there's adult, and then there's masters. And masters goes by 5-year increments, so you'll compete against people at your belt, your weight, and your in general age range. So at black belt, I've won Masters World Championships 7 times. 2 of those have been with no gi. That means without the gi. The other 5 are within the gi. I've won the Pan American Championships at black belt masters 4 times or 5. I probably have 5, 6, 7 runner-ups at World Championships and at Pan Ams. I've been American champion a bunch, and that's pretty much it. So I don't know the record at this particular thing that's happened is called Fight to Win. Fight to Win is professional super matches. So it's basically you have one match and it's a submission only match. So it's not like a tournament where there's points and everything. You're basically going for the submission. And in that, my record is 10-5. So hopefully it'll be 11-5 after tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Because we always pull for the home team here, and all those accolades, man. Shit, you need to like your man said, keep track of those records, man. We need to know what's happening when it's going down. Speaking of, how can we watch it? Because everything's still in COVID season. There's limited seating available. It's at Gildy's in South Dallas, just outside of downtown.
Yeah,
and
you can watch on flowgrappling.com. That's FLOGRAPPLING.com. I do not know the cost. I have no earthly idea. So if anybody goes there and they charge you something, I don't fucking know. But that said, they charge a monthly fee. So like on Flow Grappling, you'll get access to all of the Fight to Wins. Fight to Win is a very good. It's been a very good promotion for me. I fought on other promotions. I fought on Kasai. I fought on Submission Hunter. Submission Hunter's a nice one as well, but also Flow Grappling for all of the major tournaments. That's the World Championships, Master World Championships, the Pan American Championships, American Nationals, European Championships, Brazilian Championship. Actually, I've won Europeans and Brazilians several times as well at black belt too. But they'll actually play those live on there. So like if it's somebody that you know that does jiu-jitsu, no matter what their belt is, if you know what time they're going on, what mat they're on, you can actually find them and, you know, look at those. So it gives you a lot more than just, you know, you like, in other words, you're not signing up to see just me tomorrow. Now tomorrow, the first American to win, well, no, he's the second. I'm sorry. He's the second American to ever win the World Championships at black belt. He will be on the main card against another guy, and the guy's nickname is Hulk, and he actually lives up to it. That being said, there's only been 4 Americans that have won the Mundials, which is the World Championships. That's like for the young studs or whatever. Like I said, I won that at brown belt, but I haven't won that at black belt. I've only won Master World Championships at black belt. The fourth, and there's only 4, the fourth to ever win, a fourth American-born guy, since we in the times that we have right now, his name's Shane Jamil Hill. He is, well, brother, he was the first African-American to actually win at black belt. So it's, you know, it's a good thing. But tomorrow is going to be a very, very, very good fight card. It's going to be good.
So how many fights are on the card for tomorrow night?
Probably upwards of 20.
Wow, that's a stacked card.
They normally have 20 or 30 for fight to win.
Okay,
and it starts at blue and purple belts. They usually didn't have blue belts at a time. In Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, there's white, blue, purple, brown, and black. There was a time that they didn't have any blue belts. I think partially that's because of COVID, and you got to figure out who's actually training and who's not. Because a lot of places, they're flying people in from other places for this too. Like I get flown out to do these at times in other places. But tomorrow it'll be between 20 and something. Yeah, it's going to be a good bit.
That's dope, man. That's glad to see that you still out here keeping it COVID free and keeping it healthy, and at the same time staying active as well, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything new on the music front for you?
I actually am putting something together. It's like I kind of do a purpose band. I had a band that I was doing, a brass band, called it's called the Bioniq Brass Band, and we actually put something out. It's a New Orleans brass band type thing, called Long Live the Chief, Don't Bow. I'm doing that. I actually have picked up a couple of guys that actually asked me to do some verses for them, so I'm kind of been putting that together. Hopefully that'll get done sometime soon. I can't really say because it's not my project, but I haven't done too much on the rap front lately. It's always all been with my trombone and doing, and doing that. So
well, I know a guy.
Yeah.
Know a guy looking for some verses.
Hey, I'm good. Just let me know. If anybody wants me to do it, I still got the fire to do it, man. I just think, nobody gave me the call. I'll be sitting at home. Be sitting there like, damn, I wish somebody call me to rap one day. And nobody don't ever call. And then I cry when I get in the car. So, that's kind of how that goes.
Well, I guarantee you, hanging around us long enough, you won't have to worry about those calls not coming.
For sure. It's all good, man. I still got a little bit with me. I still do a little something.
Yeah, man. So I'm gonna give you. Let me see here. I'm gonna give you 30 seconds to talk shit about your fight tomorrow night. Go.
Oh, he got to go. I ain't got to do that much talking. He had the audacity of accepting the match, so he'll have to deal with that tomorrow. He
gonna walk in. He gonna have to get helped out. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, bro. Like, I think some people take a Nobody takes. Here's the thing: you can't blame somebody for being confident. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be confident in what you're gonna do, right? You can't go into a match being like, well, shit, you're gonna whoop my ass. But and don't get me wrong, in jiu-jitsu, that's one of the things I like about Brazilian jiu-jitsu. You have the ability to win against anybody, but there's some people where you stepping in there, and like I got a chance to train with probably one of, if not the greatest jiu-jitsu guy ever, and he's still that guy. Like even the younger guys now, he took a match against the guy that had broken his record of what they call an absolute. The absolute is the open weight. So to fight in the open weight in the world championships, you have to be put forth. There's only two people per team that's put forth in the absolute. That's it. And so basically, you're the best of the best of the best. It doesn't matter weight. Doesn't matter. You're not in your weight class. And this guy, he had just beaten his record and beat him one more. It's a new guy named Buchecha. And man, he submitted Buchecha. It was like, so when he came, and I like to think I'm pretty decent. He came to train and taught us some things. Now, this is the equivalent of playing Michael Jordan when Michael Jordan was Jordan.
Okay.
That would be that equivalent if you think about it like that, right? And man, dude, he came in and I wanted to quit jiu-jitsu. It was like, and ordinarily I can do whatever the hell I want to do. Like I ain't gonna do nothing. Right? And it was funny because he was like, I would ask him like, hey man, what should I have done here? Well, you shouldn't have let me get here. I'm like, I was trying not to let you get there, damn it. But his name is Roger Gracie. If anybody looks up Roger Gracie, he's the man.
From the famous Gracie family, correct?
As far as talking trash a lot, man, I don't do too much unless somebody like you do have some people, especially in these times, that they have their All Lives Matter shit and they got other bullshit. So it's like I like to make them pay.
As well they should.
Yeah, there's a few that I know that kind of feel that way in my gym, but they don't say shit because it's like, here's the thing. My uncle, God bless his soul, God rest his soul, said 95% of your problems can be solved with an open hand slap to the mouth. If you thought that you said some shit, somebody was gonna slap you in the mouth, you would think twice before a lot of the things people think and type today, right? If you knew I just popped off on the internet and somebody's gonna show up at my house and slap the shit out of me, there ain't nothing I can do about it. Most people wouldn't say half the shit that they say, right? But also, if you're in a gym and 99% of the time, you ain't got nothing for that person. And you're in a gym where you're in a combat art. So it's like, what are you going to say? You gonna talk shit? Probably not, because in that instance, it's like, okay, well, we fight then. And you're probably going to lose that fight. So most people ain't gonna say too much. Most people ain't gonna take that ass whooping because they know, nobody wants to take that ass.
Yeah, like who wants to hold an L unnecessarily simply for the fact of you opened up your mouth and couldn't hold on to those words.
Right. Pretty much.
Yeah, you know when the L is coming. Like there's not one person that walks up there, unless your name is Suge Knight, who walks up there thinking like you're not about to take this L, and you walk around and walk off with the L. Right.
Y'all watch MMA at all? Y'all remember a name called Wanderlei Silva?
Yep,
absolutely.
Okay, Wanderlei Silva, his nickname is the Axe Murderer. I'll tell you a story. We're sitting at the Pyramid. That's where they have it in Long Beach. It's at UC Long Beach or whatever, right? And it's a big blue pyramid. That's where they hold the World Championships every year, and at least since they moved it to America, and because it used to be in Brazil. So it's like we're sitting there. And he's standing up because the people in front are standing up. So if you don't stand up, you can't see what's happening on the mat because we're closer down to the bottom. But he's standing up because the people in front of him are standing up. And you have this guy, man, you sit the fuck down, motherfucker, sit the fuck down, blah, 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 blah. And he turns around and smiles. And the dude saw who it was. And he sat down and shut the fuck up. Because, think about it. You just talk shit to the axe murderer.
I don't want an axe murderer smiling at me, fam.
Exactly. He just turned around. It was so cool because he just turned around like, okay. And he sat down. Don't get me wrong. Because he's like, what's the point of me beating the brakes off this dude? But at the same time, the dude is like, I'm literally talking to somebody who will break me. And in jiu-jitsu, you kind of know that. Like there's a hierarchy. Like you walk into the gym, you're going to take your lumps. You're going to take your frustrations. It's going to happen until you build your skill. So a lot of times people who really feel a certain way about you, they're not really going to tell you. They're not going to make those jokes around you. They're not gonna say those things where you can see them or you can hear them. But see, the thing is, social media is a motherfucker. So I see some. So it's some people that you just got to catch hell, or you gonna have to avoid me every time you come to the gym.
Yeah, and this hiding behind the keyboard thing and actually coming out from behind the keyboard is starting to look way far too prevalent than what it needs to be, considering the times. People are dropping their nuts, and the last thing they need to be doing is nut checking themselves or other people when they don't have nuts to begin with. And that's coming out way more often than what it needs to. And people are going to get touched, and it's going to be to a point to where it's no longer going to be criminals. It's going to be accepted. In your case, you get the privilege of actually doing it for pay on a screen. Yeah. And we get to watch it happen.
I just brought it like this cat dude. I hate to say this now. Now, when I take some of these or what have you, I gotta wonder if that's one of those dudes. And I don't know. I had never heard this dude's name. Like when the promoter Seth actually asked me about this. He's like, "Hey, how about Kenny Cross versus Stephen Hall?" I was like, "Cool." He knows for the most part. I've only ever turned down one match from him, and that was because I was sick and I was about 200 and something. I was like 200 pounds, and the guy was going to be like 240, which I've taken matches where I was 220, 230, 240, and the guy was 320. But I had been sick, so I'm like, dude, I can't go that far. Literally, you know what I'm saying? Still haven't been sick. That's the only one I ever turned down. So normally he'll call me and ask, or he'll send me a message and say, "Hey man, you want to take this match in Denver, or you want to take this one in California, or you got somebody here?" And I'm like, okay, no problem. So like this dude, I've never met the guy. I don't know anything about him at all, other than I saw him, in a couple of matches that he had on YouTube. And I can't say he's a hateful dude. I can't say he's a supportive dude. I can't say it. But the problem is, it's sort of like black folks and police. I have to kind of assume you're one of them. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
And I hate that, because it's not. We're supposed to have an honor system as far as jiu-jitsu is concerned. You tap, I let go. We're gonna try to feel like we're about to try to kill each other, but at the same time, you still on an honor system where you're not there to injure you. Like, I might hurt you, but I ain't gonna injure you.
Right. It's a heated competition and it's combat sport, but at the same time, the end of the day is for a victory, not for a killing.
Right. Yeah, you're not trying. Like, I'm not trying. Like, the whole purpose of jiu-jitsu is I can break your arm, but I don't want to have to. Like, you should understand that, okay, he got me. And the problem is, like, now I have to wonder, because I'm like, dude, if you have some credentials or you have something behind your name, that's not to say that you're not good because you didn't win a title or anything. But like, when people take it sometimes, and to be honest with you, I'm fucking petty. So I find shit that you dig. I find shit that motivates me. Like you took this match, really? What the fuck were you thinking? Like I watched your matches. No, like so you really think? You know what I mean? So I really don't know where that came from, but we'll see. We'll see tomorrow.
Tomorrow night, flowgrappling.com. If you're in the Dallas area and you want to get tickets, go to Gillies. I'm sure you can
go to F2Win Tix.
There you go. F2Win Tix.
FTWTIX.
All right. So that's fight to win. Stephen Hall, aka Steve Austin. This is the Broken Pistol Book Company Pro Wrestling Podcast infused with hip hop, and we kicked the show off. There's a theme here. We kicked the show off with a brand new record from Pharoahe Monch featuring Styles P called "Same Shit, Different Toilet."
Oh yeah, that's fire.
And I'm gonna actually take you out with a song of yours off that Serious Milk project from a couple years ago, featuring a man of a certain age, Pikahsso. This is Heartbeat. It's the Broken Pistol Book Company, you bitches.
Yeah. Feels good, don't it? Well, alright. Say, girl, I've been having some things on my mind. I just want to get them out to you. So listen here. I remember the very first day I seen you at the mall. I knew right then that we could do it all. I was looking at that ass and took a fall, but you ain't even laugh, not at all, baby doll. Matter of fact, you came over and you handed me the digits. You held me up and let me know that you were with it. Perfectly like a handy glove is how it fitted. So you wasted no time before you let your boy hit it. Now looking back, I see that you were just what I was searching for, even though I never knew it. Knew my pimping and my hustling, you were steady by my side, even though from time to time I almost blew it. Now you my habit and I'm never trying to break it. Gave it to you love and feeling, I ain't never trying to shake it. You the one, my rib, my breath, my sweet thing flowing through my body, girl. You make my heart beat.
Make my heart beat.
You make my heart beat.
You drive me crazy.
Peanut butter bond, in other words, is thick. The type of relationship that make them other folks sick. We got our own moves on slang, pet names. I call you pudding and you call me Big Daddy Bang Bang. That is
something that can make you do wrong.
If you calling me like Pookie, girl, you got my mind blown. You open off me too and you quick to remind me. Let somebody trip you quick to cut a sucker behind me. You let me know we gon' be there when everybody else leave. When it's time to get the paper, always something up your sleeve now. You're top notch and play the game high, so you're in my system, baby girl, and I just thought that you should know.
Make my heart beat, baby. You drive me crazy. Make my heart beat, baby. You drive me crazy. I'm tryna tell you how I feel about you. Couldn't make it through the day without you. I'm here to give a real deal to you. Just wanna tell you what I feel for you. See, pretty lady, what I wanna do is give my whole heart and soul to you. You look close and you can plainly see that everything is what you mean to me.
That thing you got there's
something that can make you do wrong.
But I keep it straight and narrow so that I can make it home to you. Love how I wiggle when you tell me get a bone to you. Then turn me over, girl, me till I'm on to you. And when you're done, you make the best damn salmon that a brother ever had. And I'm damn so glad that I got a superwoman on top of everything, from the hood to the office to the bed to the street. I swear you never had to wonder if I love you. You my angel in a place no one above you. You the eyes I see with you, the ears I hear with you. My world and I'm just trying to make it clear to you.
Make my heart beat, baby. Make my heart beat, crazy.
Yeah, girl, you make my heart beat. Bump, bump, bump. Yeah, X-Style on the beat. Steve Austin in your mouth. Pikahsso on the hook. And we out. Now, don't you get this shit here twisted up. Ain't shit sweet, get lifted up off your feet. If you thinking this pimpin' ain't still in effect, you best bet make sure you adjust your speed. In other words, bitch, pump your brakes. Hold up, wait, stop, catch your breath. Flavor anti-buster, you hate the taste. My name for your mouth is hot to death. Cause I found my bottom ain't kill my charm. Better watch that gal that's on your arm. Give her one more glance if she look she took. Sure, my dick in his TNT, they call it the bomb. And now she over here rubbing on my Gucci shirt. You over there frowning like your booty hurt. Even though I gotta clinch it down for groupie work. Whispering in my ear, how do I make the Gucci hurt? Now, I got to do it, it ain't no stopping this. I spit a bit, it's a fluid when I be dropping this. See, every king need a queen, and I find a one of my dreams, but I can't stop. I was born to get this cream, just like a modern day Willie Dynamite. Space age smacking, I'm out of sight. I'ma stop this penny. Can't be what I ain't, even though I gotta move a little slower than I'm used to. Though I can't choose you, come on, make a move through. Shawty, give me rhythm, I can move to. Heartbeat, heartbeat.
We got to get this man a championship belt. Did you hear all the list of
like he's
like we need a belt ceremony for this man? I'm dead serious. Like you got to start celebrating your champions.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. This is something that I forgot to bring it up. We're actually I'm a part of this group that's called Legacy Martial Arts. When I was coming up in jiu-jitsu, like I'm literally one of the older as far as jiu-jitsu. I'm talking about and how long I've been in jiu-jitsu. One of the older guys in jiu-jitsu as far as black people are concerned. There's only maybe a handful, 3, 4, 5 that been training longer than me. And I'm talking about in a nation as far as American born. And we started it because there weren't a lot of us. Jiu-jitsu has always been a Caucasian, you know what I mean, dominated art for many reasons. But when all of the things that are happening that came up, man, we're in a situation now where we banded together we're going to start providing self-defense, physical self-defense, firearm self-defense, and legal self-defense, because we got brothers from all kind of backgrounds to the community back from our association. And we have a lot of the brothers, like the brother I was telling y'all, Shane Jamil Hill is a part of it. Tim Spriggs is the president. I'm actually the vice president of it. Tim Spriggs is a world-class, Nogi world champion at black belt, a brilliant young brother. And we got sisters as well. So it's like, it's something that we're going to be doing. So I definitely want to share that with y'all too, man, because it's something that we want to try to start getting out to the community. You know what I mean?
Well, anytime you got anything like that going on, any fights coming up, man, you're more than welcome to hop on here. I mean, just shit. You see how I reached out to you? We were literally in the process of hitting the record button. I was like, "Oh shit, he got a fight tomorrow!" And boom, you called us right back, and so we got you. So whatever you need from us, we got you. Whether it be the fighting, whether it be the social commentary, or whether it be the music, either way, we got you. We got you plugged, bro.
For sure, man. I appreciate y'all. Keep doing the good work, man.
Thank you, sir. We'll be watching tomorrow, man. Steve Austin, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you coming on, man.
All right, y'all have a good one.
You too, man.
You too. All right, peace.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's some good shit.
Content season.
Man, that was perfect. Man. So yeah. Good old Steve Austin with some Pikahsso Jones on that thing. Oh, pick. So funny how we're going to end the show, and I wasn't going to say anything, but we're going to end the show with a brand new record, a world premiere from Men of a Certain Age, minus Pikahsso, but we all get represented on this thing. So we got Suave Burgundy, Caution, Throwed, and Pikahsso all gonna be on the same show, even if it's on 2 different songs. Don't care. It's what happens. We fixing fights around here.
You Don King mode right now?
I mean, if I must, man. So I wanted to talk about Backlash this week, but earlier today, like, cause peek behind the curtain, we've been trying to get back on our normal recording schedules where we can record on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, but Tuesdays seem to be a waste simply because there's so much going on Wednesdays, where if we record later on Wednesday, we can recap AEW and NXT if anything actually pops off.
And then what never fails is that if we record on Wednesday, there's a news feed flood come Thursday morning.
And we record late as hell on Wednesday, and I got a job.
You're not the only one with a job. You just have a different kind of job.
Well, I mean, mine requires me to be up much earlier than you. At the same time, though, we're both fathers of a certain age. So
that part, yeah, mine just allows me to be a little more remote.
Yeah. So at any rate, today as I'm on the way home, Suave sends me about 4 or 5 text messages from different threads on Twitter with a new hashtag, and it's not a good one. Hashtag speaking out.
Yeah, it goes downhill fast.
And seemingly at the root of all of this, courtesy of Authors of Wrestling, friends of the show.
We still got to get that episode scheduled.
Yes, what up, man? And sometime soon at that. There's a tweet that he posted from one Tom Collahue that says, "I've just been told an emergency meeting has been called by WWE officials to discuss the accusations coming against some of their NXT UK talent." What in the world could these allegations possibly be in a pro wrestling organization, or I'm sorry, sports entertainment organization across the pond that is owned and maintained by WWE?
It's a lot of freaky deaky Dutch shit going on over there. It's not cool at all. It's not good.
But then when you start researching that hashtag, there's a lot of stuff that just pops up. And these are a lot of people that you don't know, some that you may. And at the same time, you just like let me run over an article on PW Insider. It kind of gives you something over here. Courtesy of Mike Johnson. Ireland's top independent wrestling promotion, Over the Top Wrestling, announced this morning that their championship is now vacant. And that's OTT Wrestling, or OTT_wrestling on Twitter. With immediate effect, we declare that the OTT championship is vacated. A decision on the future of the title will be made when we return to active competition. Now, that's all they said. But here's the remainder of the article. While the promotion did not name the previous champion or the reason for stripping him of the title over the last 24 hours, there have been sexual assault accusations made against David Starr by Tori, a woman he once dated, who came forward several years after the incident in question. Starr responded to those accusations via Twitter, but in doing so, at one point accused his accuser of leaking nude photos of him, and all but admitted there had indeed been an incident between the two after attending a concert together that Starr admitted might have been non-consensual. Starr apologized for being a blah, 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 I'm not going to say the word, toward former girlfriends, naming several other women by first names, which left him open to criticism that he may have outed other potential former victims by their first name. The fact that some of his tweeted responses were listed as quote-unquote sponsored led to accusations Starr had paid to have his responses promoted in an attempt to raise awareness, was also met with criticism on Twitter. Good God. There's a lot more to this story, and Tori wrote a long diatribe on Twitter, and it's not like I'm trying to downplay it. But there are other titles that he's also been stripped of, and it says Revolution Pro Wrestling and TNT Extreme Wrestling have also stripped Starr of their titles, and they both have tweets without naming him and have stripped him of the titles that he held with those organizations. What have you seen on your end? Because this for one, this particular instance is crazy because it involves one person. But there are way more stories than this, and we know it.
My experience with this so far in the short time that I've known about it is basically a lot of it's just a lot of people responding to allegations, but no one's linking back to the original one. Happened to run across another site that had just background on everyone who had been speaking out, and it covers a lot of people from a lot of different places, some that are stateside now, some that are overseas, for various companies as well. So it's not just one company who has violators attached to it. Like AEW, there's 2 people from AEW that came up. it's just a lot going on right now. It's hectic.
Yeah, and I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. That's not what we're here to do. But at the same time, this is long overdue. Not just in the entertainment field, as we've been seeing over the past few years, but no one is exempt, and exemption does not mean free of guilt. So just because no one has come forward and said that these things haven't happened doesn't mean that these things have not happened, especially with those in positions of power or in positions to manipulate. As we've seen some people in real life that claim to be this person or that person end up using that quote unquote perceived power to coerce men or women, whichever the case may be, into doing unsavory things for their own personal benefit, in hopes that the person that is being assaulted gets personal gain. And usually that doesn't happen. For what we've seen in the music side, that usually doesn't happen in their favor. Stop it. Cut it out. You don't have to take it. If you don't have the conversation, if you don't have the conversation to get intimate with a person of interest, then you don't deserve that person or what you're trying to accomplish. It's really that simple.
There are places where it can be bought and sold. You don't have the right to steal it.
And then there's that.
Just
legal in Nevada, illegal in Amsterdam. Travel.
I've never understood the thought process that went with, I'm gonna take this. Like, no, I want it thrown at me willingly.
Even sometimes when it's thrown at you willingly, you don't want it. If you're right in the head,
I want the right to choose.
There you go.
Bitch, I'm pro pimp, I'm pro choice. How, you know what I'm saying?
You feel me?
I don't understand where y'all. Oh man,
this wasn't supposed to go there.
I did want to go there. I did. I swear I did. Who raised you? Like, what happened?
There's a question. There's a question right there. Who the fuck raised you?
Shout out to TK Kirkland, man. Who raised you? I really do want to go there, but for the sake of a better show, I'm just gonna let it go.
Yeah, we'll have plenty more to discuss. I'm sure as the weeks go on, but we're not going to dwell too much on this. We got a heavy pay-per-view schedule to talk about for July, but we also got to figure out what the hell we going to do with these results for this backlash from this past Sunday. Let us not forget, today is...
Don't call it a backlash. I've been here for years.
This is Thursday, June 18th. Year of our Lord.
Year of our Lord.
I said year of our Lord.
I say year of our Lord.
20 and 20. The day before Juneteenth.
Glory to be on Juneteenth.
And we're off the heels of WWE Backlash pay-per-view. On the pre-show, we had Apollo Crews defeat Andrade to maintain and retain the United States Championship.
Young cruise ship continues to set sail.
Thank goodness, because in this season of Fists in the Air, there's absolutely no reason to disrupt the color wheel of champions.
The color wheel of champions is completely full, so all we got to do is claim the Universal and the WWE title, and the Infinity Stones of the color wheel of champions will be complete.
And Thanos will be none the more upset.
So if we can get Bobby Lashley as WWE champion, and we just got to figure out who to crown on SmackDown.
That's a good one. And we don't even have the sad thing is we don't even have enough for a mixtape on SmackDown. God.
No, you got Kofi and Big E, so that's two.
I like Big E.
Right. Got Shinsuke.
Okay.
You also have Ali, who is the suspected hacker man.
Not suspected. It's definitely him.
Who else is of international descent on SmackDown?
To challenge for Braun.
Technically, Sheamus is not American born, but that's kind of defeating the purpose.
I'm going to hit you with this one. Simply because he's so pale.
I accept it. I understand. I understand why you did it. I mean, a call up for Keith Lee.
Would you? Because he already has a belt. He's on the color wheel already.
But if you see, he is on the color wheel currently. However, if you see NXT, he has a triple threat coming up with Johnny Gargano and Finn Balor for the North American Championship. So he doesn't necessarily have to be pinned to lose it.
Okay. That's a different spin.
So, then there's that. But I believe the extra stipulation is whoever wins that match also then goes on to challenge Adam Cole in a winner-take-all match.
Hold on, man. Because I don't care. When the context happens, you got to be ready for it. So they're challenging who?
What up? Adam Cole.
Baby!
There you go.
Not to be outdone. Now, that is interesting. But of all that, though, Kofi already had a chance, and he held on to the title for about 6 months.
6-7 months. 6-7 quality months.
Quality months. He actually defended the
pay-per-view title defense.
He defended the belt, yes. Big E deserves that shot.
I agree.
But Big E has never had that opportunity to even dance with the world title. So I think he'll be a great fit for it because he has the size. He's quick. He's a hell of an athlete, and one of the only people that could legit match up against Braun Strowman in that type of environment and give Braun Strowman a quality defeat to where he doesn't look hurt in the process.
Agreed. I mean, at this point, because we're in this snow globe, and as Petty Messiah has reminded us on numerous times, none of this is real.
Yeah.
Why are we in the business of protecting people and how they lose? Who cares? Once you've ruined the Fiend, I don't give a damn who you beat or how you beat him.
So what you're saying is you can have Johnny Gargano defeat Braun Strowman. It doesn't fucking matter because none of this shit's real.
You almost had Johnny Gargano beat Keith Lee.
Facts. Big facts.
So, I mean, how unrealistic is it really? Shit. I mean, come on. We're not enforcing those kind of rules anymore.
For the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, we had a triple threat match. The champions Bayley and Sasha defeats Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, and the Iconics. Clusterfuck. Just, I don't know if I'm over the tag belts or over the tag division.
Well, you got to put the right combination of people in the ring and give them time to perform, because you're not giving them stories. You're just making matches.
That's the problem. There's no care involved.
There's no care involved in any form of tag team wrestling in WWE. So why'd you think this was going to be different?
Shouts out to FTR.
You know what I'm saying? They're not going to treat the men tag teams any different than the women tag teams. You're just filler at this point. Yeah, no one's getting any actual story development other than the tip-top story, and that's why the tag belts are on Bayley and Sasha, because they have the tip-top story in all of women's wrestling right now. And, all those belts kind of revolve around their partnership melting down and them becoming bitter enemies. So they're being used as props, basically.
Word.
But other than that, what? Other than that, what's going on story wise? Anything? Because
no,
Shayna Baszler has not been on television in however many weeks, even though she's had some things to say in the media that probably will not endear her to anybody.
I think she's probably participating in the same type of cool off that Jackson Riker is experiencing right now.
I mean, but Jackson ain't never come any different. This is the first time that the world put enough pressure on something he tweets to where everybody else had to react to it. he's been the same. This isn't the first time he's tweeted pro-Trump propaganda. Like, that's just who he is.
Right.
So, I don't know if you were just like, he's one of the boys, or that's just who he votes with, or like, I don't know what else you thought, but hell, when people show you who they are, believe them.
No doubt. Moving through the card, we got Sheamus and Jeff Hardy. I really hope this is not how this feud ends, considering how much damage you did to Jeff Hardy just to bring up old shit. Part of the reason why he was gone for almost a year outside of an injury, you bring it up as part of a storyline. More so to highlight the fact of how Elias was on just bad timing again, injured. But you have Sheamus defeat Jeff Hardy to make Sheamus look like a monster for the 6th time in his career. I didn't see it was a good match too. I just didn't see the reason for having Jeff Hardy lose.
Okay, riddle me this. What's Jeff Hardy's value in 2020? Like, where is he most valuable?
In terms of truth be told, I think he would be valued, but more valued as a mentor in the NXT.
Okay.
I mean, but like
even
go ahead.
Even better, which means his years of influence are more slanted towards that role than being in-ring, upper mid-card, even main event Jeff Hardy. Like, this isn't 2004
or 8 or 12
or 8 or 12. It's 2020, about to be 2021. So you got to figure Hardy is going to be used in somewhat of a glorified enhancement role. He'll stay polished enough that when you beat him, it matters. But how much winning do you expect him to do now? Like, and I know Sheamus is a little older, but Sheamus is, a WWE born product and younger. So if you're going to choose between the two,
for the most part, Jeff Hardy is too. He just had the benefit of being able to travel and can complete making a name for himself outside of the E.
And Sheamus's conduct record is spotless.
This is very true. Very true.
So if you're gonna trust one over the other, which one are you more likely to trust?
I just would have liked to have seen Jeff Hardy defeated without that storyline coming into play. I just thought it was tasteless.
When Matt left and Jeff got to stay and he's gonna ride this contract out, he's essentially gonna take whatever shit they give him.
Yeah, he's eating shit sandwiches for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Gotcha.
That part. You know what I'm saying? It's like the creative is already piss poor. Like, even when they come up with something that is real life and relatable, they do it and present it in such a way that it's like you're either bored with it quickly or it's so tasteless you don't want any part of it.
And as we keep going down the card here, next up we had Asuka retain her Raw Women's Championship over Nia Jax. Not necessarily in a winning fashion. It was a double count out in which the tie goes to the champion. And she maintained.
These are the things that happen when you're trying to keep someone strong and you don't want to beat your champion. Like, I don't understand why you do this. Like, don't book the match or make it a different kind of match where the title's not on the line. Put an extra person in there or possibly save this match for a bigger time so you can go ahead and crown the person you've been building. I don't understand this.
So is this now how we get Shayna Baszler back on television and get her in the mix for this? Because Charlotte Flair
got up next. So if you've seen anything from her on social media, if anybody got next, it's her, which means you just pushed Baszler yet another spot out of contention.
And Charlotte is basically going on social media and says, "I'm the shit. No one else no one else out here can hold a candle to me. You need to deal with it, and I need to be back in the title picture because I have nothing else to do." Is that a
I'm
good?
Here every day. I don't miss any days. Cough, cough. I I don't know about that. I don't miss any days, but her general sentiment over the course of these messages was,
"I'm here, you're not."
Yeah, I'm here, you're not. Which, I mean, it's a valid argument. People have used it, and she made reference to people who take a bunch of time off, mentioning Sasha about missing a lot of time just because she was unhappy with her creative and her financial. And then Nia Jax, but she had double knee replacement. I mean, shit happens. If she misses a year, you just got to live with it.
Right. Becky
but she
Lynch
basically just touted her own success at her own. She did her own performance review and placed herself at the top of the list. And she said, "If I want to be champion again, so what? Make me champion again." Like,
and not now, right now. This is right now. There's a very short timeline on this. And I don't think she's going anywhere, but still, it's a very short timeline. And she actually, with that resume that she provided for her interview, she has ample reason to say that, "Hey, I'm next, and you're going to make me next."
She could have said everything she said and not mentioned any of the other people, and been totally justified. Like, she's 100% right either way. She didn't say anything that was false. It's just that air of entitlement that also goes with the fact that creative is shitty. Right. So now when she wins the title, everyone's going to look at it like, well, she just demanded it. They didn't come up with anything creative as a way for me to get it. And right now, Asuka's the most entertaining woman on television. So why are we going to dethrone her now just because you're bored?
I understood. I mean, so is there anybody else that you would even put into the picture? Because it's going to be Asuka and Flair for probably the rest of the summer. Is there anybody else you would throw in the mix?
At this point, I would kind of let Asuka get close to finishing out the year as champion. And then right when it comes time, I need a major 5 pay-per-view when Asuka drops to Charlotte. And I know we're in 2020, we don't have crowds, but it just, I'm still thinking under those terms. Like,
SummerSlam's next big one we got coming up.
Right. Certain shows matter. I feel like SummerSlam is too early. Since she just became champion and Asuka's been entertaining, she obviously can work. She's not hurt. She's putting on, entertaining segments, great matches. Let her flourish throughout the summer into the fall. So the first time I would even look at attempting to have Asuka drop the title would be Survivor Series.
I got a better idea than that. The only other place I could see her possibly losing that title will be Hell in a Cell.
And even then, I'm like, okay, maybe, I don't know. You gotta make that make sense in terms of like what happens afterwards. Because like for Asuka just to lose in a blood feud to put over Charlotte in Hell in a Cell, I'm like, okay, yeah, so what?
I mean, that's usually in traditional wrestling speak, a match as big as Hell in a Cell is the end. That's it. Like, there's nothing else after that. You don't even shake hands. You part ways and just hope that you meet back up in the middle somewhere.
I agree, but at the same time, if you look at Charlotte and Bayley, Charlotte and Sasha when they did Hell in a Cell, it made sense because of the competitive nature of their matches. Even same thing with Becky and Sasha, because there was a certain level of believability and you didn't know who was going to win type stuff. I don't give a damn how athletic and how talented everyone believes Charlotte is, and rightfully so. You're not locking her in a cage with Asuka, and Asuka's the one laying flat on her back looking at the lights in real life.
Right.
So you can set this up however you want to. If you put those two in a cage, I'm putting my hard-earned money on Asuka. And if you book it to go any other way without some type of real reason, I'm going to say you're full of shit.
And with that, let's move along to Braun Strowman versus The Miz and Morrison in a 201 handicap match. The stipulation on this was Miz and Morrison thought that the winner of the match on their team would make them the co-WWE Universal Champions. However, at the start of the match, it was told that the Miz and Morrison, whoever were to pin Braun Strowman during this match, that person would become the champion, which kind of played into the finish of this match. But this is easily the least entertaining shit I've seen in quite some time on a pay-per-view. That long pause before a sigh tells me everything I need to know about this match, and you too, as a listener. Pencil pusher, that is.
And just, I mean, what do you want me to say? Like, how many weeks did we spend doing this?
Shit, really? What, 4? 5?
Like, I get it. I mean, this is the kind of shit you would used to see on like Clash of the Champions. Like this is like 93, 94.
This is SmackDown in 2002. Like you've got a monster of a world champion on your roster looking like he doesn't even deserve the damn belt. Like, are y'all really holding this place for Roman Reigns this tough?
Well, look, Roman did put out a message saying, you know, when I come back, I'm destroying everybody. People are going to be pissed. I would hope that everything's sweet and holy. That may mean something in the realm of a heel turn, or at least an attitude adjustment, a different approach to business. But I mean, who am I fooling trying to put that much hope into anything? I'm anxious to see him back, but I mean, considering the fact that, you know, WWE hasn't really done the greatest job of keeping their performers protected, I wouldn't be in any rush if I'm Roman to come back for that.
Nah, not at all.
The creative's bad, the ratings are in the toilet, and people are still getting sick. Hell, Kevin Owens just turned in his deuces. He's like, I'll see y'all later when this shit's over with, because I got kids, bro. He pulled the Heath Slater card.
Yeah, man, and he's already played with that. He's already played that card once, and he pulled that boy right back out again simply because there's some negligence going on.
Because, bitch, Canada.
That part. Drew McIntyre.
The creative is shitty, and I could become terminally ill.
Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, MVP in the corner. Lana's stupid ass comes out here, makes the match way worse than what it should have been.
Careful, you'll get us in trouble on the internet.
Don't care. And I'm talking about the character, not the actual person, because I can't stand the character. She comes out.
Done her job.
She comes out here, does what she's supposed to do. Interrupt the damn championship match. Make Bobby Lashley look like he doesn't deserve another title opportunity forever. And now they're teasing what should have happened a long time ago, long before the wrestler now known as Miro left the E, which is they get divorced. Bobby Lashley and Lana get divorced, and then we figure out what we do with Lana later. At any rate, you're retaining champion Drew McIntyre. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of it. I mean, the Drew train is still rolling. Here's what we're trying to figure out, because I did read something that was kind of interesting. Jinder Mahal was basically slotted to be in the position that Bobby Lashley is right now.
With a 3MB tie-in, correct?
Right. So Jinder had just re-debuted on Raw not that long ago, and the idea was to build him to have the match at Backlash. Obviously, one, to reestablish Jinder as a top-level heel for the brand. Also, to give Drew McIntyre another credible win as champion. So once Jinder went in to get his knee cleaned up, found out it was a lot worse than he expected, he ended up having to have knee surgery, so he'll be out for a while after already missing almost a year with knee surgery. And
not for nothing, man. Like, Jinder is good enough to make you hate him in real life. And those are what the greatest heels can do. And I wish nothing bad for Jinder. I want to see him come out here and actually have a stellar career, but you got to stay healthy. Now, I'm not saying that it's up to him to stay healthy, but man, you just want so much better for certain people. And for me, Jinder's one of those people I want to see grow as a performer, because I think he deserves better.
True, he's in phenomenal condition, so hopefully he'll heal up soon. Just as you get older, stuff starts to happen,
and it's harder to recover from.
Routine, and find out, your knees full of shit.
Literally. And then finally on this card, we had what was billed to be the greatest wrestling match ever, and now with Randy Orton winning over Edge, Randy Orton has now called himself the greatest wrestler ever. Danger 2 will be happy about this.
Like this whole thing was just one big ass elaborate plot to be able to call Randy Orton the greatest wrestler ever. Like what the fuck, bro?
This went from. Let's see if we can get a timeline right here. This went from
that feels like Shane McMahon winning that fucking tournament to call himself best in the world. Like all of this was one big elaborate scheme to get to one payoff of an inside joke, and then we're gonna go forward with that.
So let's go back here to the beginning. After Mania, a challenge was made, and Randy Orton decided he wanted to have a wrestling match, a traditional wrestling match, to the chagrin of many because they thought he was going to give a gimmick match. He was like, he's never been able to beat me in a straight up match, so why would I give him any other match other than the match that I know I can beat him in?
Sound logic.
Ring the bell. So then we fast forward to the announcers plugging this as what could possibly be the greatest wrestling match ever.
This is the greatest show.
And then we fast forward to the pay-per-view where they have a pre-recorded, pre-produced match that was about 45 minutes long with, rest in peace, piped in Howard Finkel announcements from Madison Square Garden with piped in cheers for Edge and piped in boos for Randy, who was not even a defined heel.
Oh no, he's full heel now. Now he was doing tweener when him and AJ were still kind of booked to do some stuff before they went their separate ways for WrestleMania. But
and then the Samoa Joe,
he's a heel now.
The initial body bag from Joe. that got Randy in some tweener action there with his reaction to what Joe said about Jeff Hardy.
That got him a reaction from the Smarks.
Straight up. How did you? First of all, I thought the match was just extra regular. I really thought it was a good match, but no, it was nowhere near the greatest wrestling match of all time. In order for you to have the greatest wrestling match of all time, you can't leave the ring. Let's start with that.
You can't leave the ring at all.
At all. You can go outside and catch a breather, but you can't have action outside of the ring for the greatest wrestling match of all time. Drew Gulak and Daniel Bryan had put on a better clinic than this match was. And that was for the Intercontinental title first round match.
Jesus.
Am I saying something wrong here? Please enlighten me.
No. Just digested it all at one time. Just
take your bites one at a time. 100 times chew.
You got to chew your food 26 times before swallowing.
One for each tooth that's left.
Goodness.
Yeah, man. So, good match. Yeah. Greatest ever? Not so much.
You can't leave the ring. Like, I guess we need to make a criteria. Like, if we should make a criteria for greatest match ever and what the things you have to do.
There has to be a pinfall or submission victory. It cannot be a referee stoppage.
It can't?
It cannot be a referee stoppage.
Because the greatest match one of the greatest matches in WrestleMania history is a referee stoppage.
In WrestleMania history, yes. That match also involved international objects, which caused the stoppage to begin with.
International.
I'm channeling my 1989 Turner Broadcast Television speak.
Man, that's that 1991 CNN Tower for your ass.
You feel me?
Not refer to it as a foreign object. You will call it an international object.
Exactamundo. Circle gets to square, Johnny. Tell him what he's won.
You have won some athletic tape made to look like brass knuckles.
With no brass at all.
None.
Yo, man. So that's. I mean, I would like to see a match stay in the ring. I don't want to see any outside interference. That's for damn sure. Uses of international objects are barred. I mean, these are just the things I want to see. And like, especially if you're having a match that has rules. You know how I am about these rules. If you have a match that's going to be all over the fucking place with no rules, let it be known, ain't no fucking rules, bid. And I'll be happy with you using chairs, my mama's wallet, my wife's perfume, like all these things you can get in this ring, fam. But if you're having a straight up wrestling match, nothing outside of the ring matters. Not a goddamn thing.
Seems like you would enjoy early 2000s Ring of Honor world title matches.
Yes, definitely.
Gotcha. Yeah. See, you see that? You got to know your audience. You got to know your audience.
And even though we are dinosaurs when it comes to that kind of stuff as it relates to WWE and their quote unquote logic, there are people in the executive offices and in the production suite for WWE that probably agree with my sentiments.
True. And then I'm a little different because, you know, my formative years, a lot of my teenage watching was during the ECW era. So there's a lot of tornado everything. It's not a lot of rules, but there is a lot of creative. There are storylines to go with the violence. So if I'm watching ECW, there is a list of things that has happened that has gotten us to the violence we are at right now. We are at the point of no return, and there has to be some god-awful violence delivered. Otherwise, we cannot go on living.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like, I don't know. Like, I'm not entertained. I'm just not entertained anymore. It's like, the creative is shitty. It's bad.
As much as I love NXT, I find myself watching AEW as a primary on Wednesday nights. Simply because.
On the train. I do love NXT, but I've been on that train since about week 3. I DVR both, but it seems like I lean towards watching AEW live, especially when there were crowds involved. AEW was a better choice for me. It felt better.
Yeah.
Even though I like NXT more than any other brand at this point, or any other brand on WWE side of the fence.
Yeah, no doubt. And that also that encompasses UK as well. I really love their product, and I wish I could sit back and watch more of it because they really have a good product over there in UK.
It's gonna look different pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm sure. But I think a lot of things are gonna look different here pretty soon. Just some that hashtag. I'm reminded of some of the things that I saw. I will not repeat for the simple fact of it could get us in some legal trouble, and you can draw your own conclusions on what I'm talking about on that one. You can go find some things.
We don't support the unlawful absconding of any
slanderous, libelous,
precious,
none of that.
Yes, none of that. You know, all precious jewels need to stay with their rightful owner.
There's that.
Given freely and willingly.
AEW Fighter Fest coming up the Wednesdays of July 1st and July the 8th. As it sits right now, we have about a handful of matches for the AEW TNT Championship. Cody versus Jake Hager. For the AEW Women's Championship, Hikaru Shida versus Penelope Ford. And just a challenge match, Chris Jericho versus Orange Cassidy. Chris Jericho could literally, like, there was things being said about Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat wrestling a mop and being able to get the mop over. And Chris Jericho has that mop in Orange Cassidy, and that's not a knock on Orange Cassidy. That just talks about how good both of those guys are, and in terms of being entertaining. We know what Y2J brings to the table. Orange Cassidy brings a gimmick to the table that makes it look easy, but he's also a very fierce competitor when he needs to be. I think this is going to be a really good match. And truth be told, I hope it opens up the show. The AEW World Tag Team Champions Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page versus Chuck Taylor and Trent, the Best Friends. And then also for the AEW World Championship, your champion Jon Moxley versus Swolverine Brian Cage.
I like the wellness monster better. I'm sorry.
That's both of them. That's both of them.
That's not even intended slander for Brian Cage. It's not meant as any disrespect. I think that shit would get over and be hilariously funny.
It really could. It really could.
Like let the gimmick be that they piss test him all the time because of what he does.
Man,
he's such an impressive specimen that they piss test him like every week.
He's such an impressive.
Never catch him, but he gets the nickname the Wellness Monster.
Such an impressive specimen that you see him in Gorilla giving away the specimen prior to coming to the ring.
Like I want to see some edgy content made creative. That's it.
It can be done in AEW. They've done way more with way less.
I'm just saying, man. I work from home.
And we've got 2 more Wednesdays. Actually, no, we've got next Wednesday is the last Wednesday prior to Fyter Fest starting. And we're going to have probably some more matches be added to this card. But I think it's shaping up to be a very nice free pay-per-view that's stretching across 2 weeks. And then we also have coming up in July on the 19th, Extreme Rules. So basically in 3 straight weeks, we're going to have pay-per-view caliber wrestling between AEW and WWE. And as it sits right now, there are no cards announced. No matches announced for Extreme Rules. We just know that it's going down.
I mean, yeah, I'm depressed now because I started talking about ECW and I started remembering the good old days.
Well, maybe if we don't like the card, here. Okay, this is me booking on the fly here. If we don't like the card and mind you, I'll be on vacation, so the quality of the July podcast will be different. It won't be bad. It'll just be different until I return back to the Broken Pencil offices near 1000 Industrial, home of the Sportatorium.
Come on down to Seagulls.
Right at the corner of Cadence and Industrial, which is now Riverfront.
Riverside, motherfucker.
So I make this decree here on Thursday, June 18th, year of our Lord 2020. I make this decree that if we don't like the card by July the 14th, which is the Tuesday before the pay-per-view, then we will pick with a roulette going down, we will pick an ECW pay-per-view and watch it and review that one instead of Extreme Rules.
I can tell you now, Extreme Rules is probably just going to be Backlash with sticks.
Oh, that hurt. That hurt. That boy said Backlash with sticks. Wow.
I mean, like, do you see them making a whole bunch of differences in their booking? Is going to be pretty much the same people occupying the same spots because you're leading up to SummerSlam, so you're not going to get a lot different storyline wise than what you've already gotten.
I agree. I don't see anything worthy. So we might as well go and get the roulette wheel together now. Shit.
I'm just saying, bro. Like, hey, I'm just saying. Like, I don't be making this stuff up to be a jerk. I don't feel like I'm, trying to rock the boat here. I use Broken Pencil Logic every day, not just on show day.
Not just on Thursdays, right?
Right. Like, whether it's Tuesday in Texas, whether it's Wednesday on the web, whatever it is, I use Broken Pencil Logic every day because common sense and logic still matter at my house.
Well said, Suave. Well said.
Thank you, sir.
Speaking of well said things, you, sir, have picked up the pen and have graced the microphone again.
Well, you know, every now and again I'm called on to show my expertise or speak on topics or just, you know, do some show and tell or, you know, teach a class. Or,
show and tell or co-and-tell, or as some people call it, campaigning.
I try to politic as much as possible within, you know, legal limits. So
this go around, we have a Broken Pencil Booking Company world premiere featuring Suave Burgundy, HelloImThrowed, and Caution Hundos. Mr. 700. Mr. 700. The 700 Club, if you will. And there's a one legendary DJ who's laying cuts on this record. Don't know who that might be. Oh yeah, some guy named Danger One.
I heard it was all right.
Yeah, here it is, just bars. Broken Pencil BC on all things social, brokenpencilbc@gmail.com, show at brokenpencilbc.com. Oh, you can't write this, mark my words, Folk Life Charlie, with the shit, fuck the casual fan, and Broken Pencil Logic. Those are your hashtags.
Tell them where they can find the show.
BrokenPencilBC.com. You can find the show. You can check us out on Spotify. You can check us out on Podbean, and anywhere where you can subscribe to podcasts, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Google Play, Apple Podcasts. Yeah, pretty much everywhere except for Tidal, because Tidal doesn't do podcasts yet. But anywhere your podcast is able to be heard, you can find us. And tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a motherfucking friend, because we here for you and them.
I agree.
And on that note, as we have a men of a certain age with India featuring Danger One take us out, Suave, you can take us to the house.
Pencil pushers, heads up, pencils down.
Guess who stepped in the room? It's still too many spirits on these ghost-written tunes. Word to Pusher. These clips here come with malice. I outhouse your palace. Your chalice is my phallus. As you sip from the tip of the mountain of astounding, you're hounding around my crown is not arousing. False prophets cosplaying as gods. Gatekeeping. Get Will Osprey by the mob. Face leaking. Look at you, covered in sin. Blasphemous ass shit never cast a false witness again. He was never holier than thou. That's how they found him. Multiply your all-time high by 9,000. And you still won't have the master bird bath in his holy water. Forgive him, Father, he do not of the impending slaughter. He led his lambs too, now he getting ran through. You prayed for beginner's luck, but you know Andrew. Now early retirement is the requirement for your crimes against the archdiocese of this writing shit. I've been blessed with favor, you've been cursed by angels. It'll take a miracle to get your ass detangled from the web you weaved or half weave it. Can't even say you practice to deceive, cause real G's don't believe it. Well, let me quit before I start preaching in this motherfucker. They taking notes, we see you leeching in this motherfucker. Don't act surprised, it ain't no secrets in this motherfucker. Step in the booth, start quantum leaping in this motherfucker.
I say fuck your favorite rapper, and I say that with all disrespect. And should our paths come to intersect, I turn this bitch to Grand Theft Auto, leave no witness left. No 6ix9ine, it ain't no witness set. Get rid of who you protect. Hey, hold my blunt, cause I ain't finished yet. This ain't no new phenomenon, nigga, I been a threat.
I'm from a place you'll never see. Hard to picture that. Compton's like Wakanda. I'm Killmonger with intellect. I never did this for no clout or for the internet. Only after residual. If I die, let my kids collect. I'm Jameis Winston. My bullets tend to get intercepted. Just in case niggas rush me without no pass protection. Get out my pocket. Apply logic at times when I should've got it poppin'. Shoot first, ask questions after's what I'm adopted. Better think before speaking my name. And just because we rap, that don't mean we the same. I'm no better than you, besides the fact you reasonably lame. With no cause or no reason, turn a short thing into shame. Cause for pause or I got something to gain. Either way, it's my leisure. Follow procedure, see this as my terrain. Do as I please, please no need for advice without my request. Or life advice that you ain't applying yourself, save it. Like these bitches that's only after your wealth. Strict diet applied to these haters, bad for my health, Lord. I took the road less traveled, far from the scenic. Was taught to keep my iron low, like anemic. Yeah, you hear my story, it's probably hard to believe it. And every marker achievement, avoid my mother's grieving. Yeah, I made decisions that harbor no rhyme or reason. Ignoring the warning signs, I was satisfying my demons. Yeah, that old saying goes, you live and you learn. Just know that there's no returning on them bridges you burn. Indignant, you're well prepared, so I'm far less concerned. Par for the cost, right on schedule. Give me all that I've earned, or I'ma take it. Practicing patience, that shit is dead. Next course of action, I'm aiming it at your head. They shoot out of there. I pay roof it. All bosses, any loss, I recouped it. Niggas is claiming facts and they can't prove it. Men of a certain age, grown man group shit. Yo,
look, the picture I paint is vivid. Peep my insipid, 1,000 words ain't enough. I'm Robert Ross with the lyrics, yo. So much sauce, I'm dripping. You insipid, spitting lyrics you can savor. I'm blessed and highly flavored. That line was for the mayor, the only politician I can back. The rest ain't for the people, that's a fact. And they want me voting Democrat when they ain't doing shit for black. So don't be trying to give me that. Lesser of two evils trying to get me involved. Don't think obey. A moral man won't choose evil at all. Kwame Ture, I keep that cake for white supremacists who think that they gon' bang on me. Get away with murder and media puts the blame on me. Dang homie, your model was taking a jog and a mob attempted to make an arrest like it was their job. Wish he was on like Kenny Walker and let it spray. He caught a case but he'll live to fight another day. And if his trial ends doing a bid, better judge by 12 than be carried by 6. Better judge by 12 than be carried by 6. Veteran from the sea,